off at center. Now make that Dale Davis and Kevin Willis. As Jack mentioned, Kevin Willis bumping the knee on Sunday. It was initially determined a hyperextended knee. Trainer Joe O'Toole tells us it was more of a deep bruise. He was out here about an hour and a half before the game, loosening it up and said it's fine. Great look inside. That is the Mookie Blaylock that led this team to 57 wins.
Well, Danny Manning coming off of that huge game the last time out. He was the only one really that showed up for that ball game. Andrew Lane came off the bench, played well, but he got the big bucket here to start the game.
Inside, the Pacers hit inside the paint right off the bat for their first two. Derek McKee registering there.
Be interesting to see how the Hawks get Kevin Willis shots at the basket.
And the first thing they did is move John Contact a little bit farther. Willis can't get the easy shot to go down.
Well, you know the double team's going to come on him, so he's going to have to be active early in this ball game.
Mookie Blaylock forces Workman to pick up his dribble early. That's what Lenny Wilkens wanted him to do in this early going. Great look inside. We've got a grab. And that'll be on Kevin Willis, his first personal foul.
Interesting how that play developed. Normally Davis, if he catches the ball, he catches it on the low post. That time they brought him out, gave him the quick move to the basket to see how well Kevin's going to move on that knee.
Reggie Miller launches the first three of the ball game. It hits nothing but the bottom of the net.
But you have to extend your defense. That's one of the things that Lenny Wilkens said he wanted to do in this ball game. Try to take those three-point shots away from the Pacers.
Ogman, he has struggled. Willis from 17.
Well, that's a big shot right there because you saw in that play that Kevin is, in fact, going to come off that low block here to try to get more involved in the offense.
I'm not so sure Larry Brown minds them taking those shots because he said when the big guys the Hawks are out, they can run.
And then the other thing is he takes them off the offensive boards.
Smith, who was chastised after the first two games, contact keeps it alive, as Larry Brown said he played tiny. Great pass! Stacey Ogman to Kevin Willis.
Now, early offense in this ball game is probably what it's going to come down to as to whether or not the Hawks can force some turnovers, get the rebounds, and then get out on the fast break.
They're still coming in here at the Omni. They're expecting a crowd of 13,000. That'll be an offensive foul ball.
Now, here's a look at some of that early offense. You have to hustle as you see Concact do there to save the ball in. And then once that happens, the Pacers are not in a balanced situation on defense, and that leaves Willis to run the floor and get the dunk.
Fouls on Smits. Manning forces it up, doesn't get it. Manning celebrating a birthday today, as is John Contact of the Hawks. Miller works off a couple of screens, wide open, and that is something Lenny Wilkens said. We're allowing him to get great looks at the basket. They're not picking him up when he comes off that second screen. Manning all the way down the lane.
That is not the Pacer defense that has enabled them to go up in this series. And you look over there on that bench, and the guy in the black jacket is not happy at all.
Out front. Miller.
That's great use of the screen. Great use of the screen by Miller.
He tried to jam him on the shot, didn't go. Whistle down low, and I think that'll be a foul on McKee. He was grabbing Danny Manning. That'll be McKee's first personal foul. Larry Brown on the far side. We've got a technical foul. That is exactly Ed Rush was listening to McKee. A soft-spoken guy. Very unusual for him to pick up a technical foul.
Well, maybe the official sending a message very quickly here, because you're right, McKee normally very much a low-key kind of player, and he gets rung up for the technical foul very quickly.
Blaylock, who shot only 73% on the year, misses the technical. Here is Derek McKee. And the officials aren't going to let anything get out of hand. I think we've learned our lesson this year.
Let's hope.
Well, John Contact may have gotten away with a walk. Instead, he threw the ball away.
A little bit of confusion on the offense that time for the Hawks as Concact handled the ball, and you saw the Pacers extend their defense, put the pressure on Concact out there because he is capable of knocking down the jump shot.
Larry Brown wanting his troops to move. Standing still on offense. Cat bodies up to Smits. The double by Manning. Knocked out with 9 on the shot clock. Good defense as we saw Rick Smits being doubled up. Manning coming over.
I think why Larry Brown was saying to move on the weak side. They want to take away the help opportunities here. And if you stand, that gives the Hawks opportunities to double up.
Hawks won the regular season series between these two teams. 3 games to 2. Workman, that's a 2. Right into the hands of McKee. Here's Manning again on the double. Smits, great drop step. Doesn't get it to go. Fighting for the rebound. Manning had it, knocked it off the Pacers. Haywood Workman.
Well, this energy that the Hawks are showing early is something that you just haven't seen real consistently in this series at all, and that's what Lenny Wilkins has been trying to nail in their heads here. You need that kind of intensity if you're going to get back and win this series.
Nice backdoor to Mookie Blaylock. Willis with the tip. Willis with 6, and with 7:56 left to be played in the first, the Hawks lead it by 3, 10-7. Along with Jack Gibbons, I'm Ron Doolin. Ernie and George in our studios. George Carlin.
He is going to have to take that shot. He's been down so much here in the playoffs on offense. The Hawks are going to give him that shot to see if he can get it going.
Contact from outside. McKee with the rebound. Indiana has missed their last 4 attempts from the floor. That is going to be a blocking foul on Danny Manning. Manning tried to set the feet, didn't get it. McKee ran him over.
Well, and I think you have to give McKee a little bit of credit there, if you will, on that particular, in that situation. He kind of gave Ed Rush a look, like he slapped me on my arm on the on that rebound. Now, if you're going to call the technical on me, you got to give me something. And he got the call that time. Now, here's a look at it on this replay. Now watch Danny Manning. Now that's where McKee, now watch him look around at the official right here and say, did you see that? And then he's going to get the call as he gets down the floor. One that could have gone either way.
Miller putting pressure on Ogden. Workman staying close to Blaylock. They wouldn't mind keeping the ball out of Mookie's hands. Ogden getting a step. Doesn't get it, but he does draw the whistle.
You know, still, Ron, we've talked a lot about Mookie's offense being down. I think we also must talk a little bit about Stacey and his numbers. I mean, he is not scoring nearly as well in the playoffs as he did during the regular season, up around 15 points for the season. He's down here in the playoffs to about 11.5 points a game, so his offense needs to improve also.
Well, Rick Smits picks up his second personal foul and quickly into the lineup. The 6'9" rookie out of Texas, El Paso, Antonio Davis, number 33. One of the pleasant surprises for Larry Brown this year.
Yeah, he has, I tell you, his offense has been such a bonus for them here in the playoffs. He's always rebounding and he's always working hard on defense, but he's knocked some shots down from the outside, even made a 3-point shot, falling away as time expired on the shot clock late in the last game.
First of his career. Hawks doing a good job of jamming up the middle. Miller trying to sneak behind the defense now. The double, contact, shot clock at 2. Great move inside. Derek McKee, the veteran.
Now that's a good step through in the pass, as it's so important to keep moving against those double teams. Something's going to be open.
Inside, Ogden shot will go. Davis with the rebound.
Now there's that defense on the inside. He didn't get the block, but you change another shot around.
Picked by Antonio Davis. Then John Concac ran into Reggie Miller. And it'll be a foul on Concac, and we have a timeout. 6:25 left in the first. The Hawks by 1.
June, the NBA draft. August, Dream Team 2 at the World Championship of Basketball. And this fall, Sunday night NFL on TNT. When it's big time.
Blaylock and Ogden both 0 for 1 from the floor. All the Hawks points coming from the front court. Kevin Willis leading the way with 6. Lenny Wilkins did tell us yesterday in his practice, he said, you know, we're what our talent is. And he does not deny the fact that this team has overachieved. But he knows to be successful that they've got to pick up defensively and they've got to basically out-hustle a team.
Well, you know, the interesting thing about that is you win 57 games, and what should come with that is confidence. And for the Hawks, they've been down just a little bit as far as confidence is concerned. I saw that in the Miami series as well.
Indiana, 17 turnover average in this series. Contact shot way off to the right.
Didn't have a chance.
No big bodies underneath to get the rebound.
Pacer defense giving up just what they want to the Hawks on offense right now. That is shots from the outside from the big people.
Antonio Davis gives it up to Miller. He is so quick off the screens. Antonio Davis with the rebound.
And that's where he is the real help for the Pacers on the offensive boards. He has developed that right there.
Fifth lead change in the ball game. Antonio Davis, who was a second-round pick back in '90 by Indiana, played a couple of years in Greece, last year in Italy. Refined his ball game, and he's here now. And he's making an impact. Hawks have it with 11 on the shot clock. Dwayne Farrell will come into the lineup for Atlanta. So Lenny Wilkins taking some height down. Guytack sits down. The 6'7" Farrell comes in. The 6th-year pro out of Georgia Tech.
Both teams go to their big people early.
Workman, great steal. It's showtime.
Both people went to their big people early. Indiana went to Smits. He didn't answer. Konkak missed some jump shots, so why leave him out there? Get small, more athletic, and get something from your people that way.
Careless basketball by the Hawks, throwing the ball away, and that's resulted in an Indiana lead of 13-10. We have 5:09 left in the first. We'll be back.
Hey gang, we're live at TNT and the score is 13.
Broadcasting rights granted by the National Basketball Association. Any publication, reproduction, or other use of pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the National Basketball Association is prohibited.
Pacers 6-1 in the playoffs in 1994. They lead it by 3 with 5:09 left in the first. Larry Brown talked to us today, Jack, about some of the keys to win.
Well, he thinks they have to be even better defensively than they have been in this series, so he's expecting them to pick it up on that end. They got 65 shots at the basket only. In the last game, they had to shoot a high percentage. Better shots and more shots is what they need in this ball game, and they have to get on the boards because he knows they have to take away the fast break opportunities for the Hawks to be successful here in this game.
Davis bellies up. Reggie Miller comes over for the double team. Farrell takes it in. The strong move to the hole for Dwayne Farrell.
Good job of challenging one of the better blockers in the league, Dale Davis. Well, they are running Reggie Miller over screens on the baseline.
McKee, count the basket. We have a whistle.
Well, that's the problem right there with having Farrell in the ball game. He gives up a lot of size, and that gives Derek McKee the advantage on the low post. You haven't seen McKee there until right now. As the change was made by the Hawks, they immediately go to McKee on the low post, and Farrell gets him on the arm on the jump shot.
So many people were against the trade that brought McKee over from Seattle and Denton Shrimp up to Seattle. It has been a great trade for both teams.
McKee is one of those guys that you don't have to give the ball to a lot for him to be effective. I think they would want more offense from him than we've seen in the playoffs.
Willis had a shot at the rebound, can't come down with it. Pacers lead it by 3, 4.5 left to be played in the first. McKee a little high dribble. Workman out front. Inside McKee, great cut across the lane. Biggest lead.
Now that's twice they've gone to McKee to take advantage of his size.
McKee with 8. In this series, he's averaging 7.5. During the regular season, he averaged 12.
Now that's probably the most surprising thing about the Pacers and their success. They're doing it with McKee getting under 8 points a game.
Stacey Augmon with his first hoop of the ball game. The first points for the Atlanta Hawks backcourt. Indiana was 16-23 back on January 28th. After that, 31-12 in the final 3 months. Best record in the East. We have a whistle and a foul this season.
Mookie Blaylock back there just roaming around on defense. The quick hands for the all-defensive team member. Gets him to steal, and you know, that's, as I said, it's going to be such a big key for the Hawks to see how many baskets they can find for themselves out of their defense.
13 foul on the Pacers. Augmon with the left-handed hook again. Second in a row. He has 4.
He is just ducking behind that screen and catching Dale Davis down on the low post. He's not been able to step up and take that shot away from him.
Atlanta forcing Indiana to use a little bit of the shot clock. Ogden chasing Miller as the shot clock reaches 7.
You turn your head just a minute, he's open.
And he buries the 2.
I mean, you turn your head just a second, and that's all he needs to get the shot up and at the basket.
He told me today, he says, you know, we're rocking and rolling now. No question. They're very confident.
I think the Hawks are going to have to move Willis off of that low post because he's just not getting shots in. He's getting the double team every time.
Well, Stacey Ogman's shot. We've got a timeout, Indiana, but that was a perfect example of the Hawks shooting in the backcourt. An ugly shot. 2:36 left in the first. 3-point lead by the Pacers.
Then he gets his shot up at the basket. Now, Ogman is one of the better defensive players at the 2-guard spot, those long arms. But then Miller was able to get it up quickly. Now, watch the scramble. Look at the blue shirt on the floor. No one down for the Hawks. Antonio Davis doing what he does well. He gets down in there, and then he's able to secure it, call the timeout. And it's little things this time of the year that will win ball games for you.
Well, Jack, we have a moment we'd like to pass on our sympathy, those of us at TNT, for the longtime trainer of the Indiana Pacers, David Craig, who lost his wife, Linda, this afternoon, and the Pacer players very upset. David has been with the team 23 years, only missed 1 game up until a while back when his wife became ill, and I know David Craig and the family, our prayers, our thoughts, and our sympathy are with you this evening. .236 left in the first. Pacers up by 3. On Saturday, they exploited Atlanta inside. On Sunday, they did it from the outside. Blaylock, can't take their eyes off him. 7 to shoot. Working looks at the clock.
He's handling the ball out there a little bit long, and they are fortunate with Antonio Davis get another look at the basket here.
That's his second board. Workman. Now the Hawks doing a nice job. Workman trying to keep a hand on going. Davis has to force it. Willis with the rebound. He has Manning down court. Nobody saw him. Almost threw it away.
Yeah, the Hawks are very good in their half-court offense.
Willis from the outside rolls it around.
Excuse me, in the half-court defense, you saw how hard it was for the Pacers to get a good look at the basket. That's another reason why Larry Brown wants more shots at the hole, because he will get some of those in the open floor.
Pacers by 1. Inside, a lot of body contact. Ball loose. Indiana has it. We do have a whistle. And it's Indiana's ball as Andrew Lyon comes into the lineup. For the Hawks, will replace Kevin Willis, who sits down 4 of 5, 8 points for Willis. Also, Byron Scott, the 11th-year veteran out of Arizona State.
Well, what an addition to this team Byron Scott has been, and not so much what he does on the floor, although that is important, but the leadership that he has shown since being signed by the Pacers back in December.
Key the turnaround. Blaylock with the rebound. Mookie, not a bad rebounder. 5.2 rebounds during the regular season. Finds a seam, lost the handle. He last touched it. Ball belongs to Indiana. Talking about Byron Scott, Larry Brown made a very hefty statement today. He goes, I know what he's meant to the team. He's meant an awful lot to me, because they talk about situations and about what it takes to be a champion. Obviously, Byron Scott, the championships with the Lakers.
Well, Larry Brown recruited him while he was at Kansas, so he's liked him for a long time.
Air ball. Andrew Lang picks up the gift. Will go the other way. The Pacers leading by 1 inside of a minute.
And I say he was at Kansas. He was actually at UCLA at the time.
He was in college. Davis, nice ball movement. A little too much. Here comes Mookie Blaylock. He's got one man to beat. He's shaking and baking. Pulls up.
Well, that is how Mookie's field goal percentage is going to go up. He's going to have to do it in the open floor through his defense, getting quick, easier shots at the basket.
That's the time remaining in the first quarter. About a 8-second difference between the shot and the game. Now Davis and Lang bumping out. Shot clock at 5. Workman pulls it up short. short. Here comes Blaylock. He's got time. Takes it inside all the way.
Those baskets right there. And think about the last time, if you can remember, when the Pacers got a basket in the open floor with early offense.
Great job, Blaylock keeping an eye on the clock. Scott, the high armor at the buzzer, it will not count. 12 minutes, it was a seesaw battle. Atlanta puts on a 10-2 run in the final 4 minutes and 10 seconds. Derek McKee, big quarter with the Pacers. He checks in with 8. But at the end of 12, the Hawks lead it 22-19.
I'm trying to think back to the last time the Pacers got something out of the early offense. Keep your eye on Mookie Blaylock right here. He's going to step in here as the Pacers try to get out on the break. He's going to pick off the pass, and then you'll see him try to get in the early offense. I think this is going to be so important for him, as his percentage is simply going to have to go up. If it's going to do that, it's going to come in early offense and chances off of his defense.
Well, Jack, we've heard this whole week in the Atlanta papers, as so goes Mookie Blaylock, so goes the Hawks. How about this? Points in the games in this series, you can see, much better when they win, not very good when they lose. And in the regular season, it carries over the same way.
Well, that just shows you that Mookie's offense is very important. He's not going to shoot 50-55% from the field, but what he can do is give them the 45% that he needs from the offense. With the shot attempts, that's going to get his numbers up to about 15 or 20 a game, and the Hawks will win those.
Spitz and Fleming back into Indiana's lineup. Hawks have gone to their bench only once. First illegal defense. That'll be called on Dwayne Farrell. That's the first of the ball game. Lenny Wilkins, what a job he's done this year. Out of Providence, was the 1960 MVP of the NIT tournament. First round pick of the St. Louis Hawks back in 1960. Smith, the turnaround over Lang, nothing but the bottom of the net.
Well, big point, big basket right there for Rick Smith, because you go back to game 3 when he had 27 points. That means that the Hawks now have to come over and double team, and that's going to free up people from the outside.
Walker trying to post up on Scott. Manning goes through the pack. We have a whistle.
Now here's a look at Rick Smith's last basket. He hadn't been making them, so the Hawks had allowed him to play him straight up. Now he turns around to the baseline side. You see Andrew Lang has him by himself. Now the next time he catches the ball, I'm sure you'll see the Hawks double up, and we'll see what the Pacers get out of it.
Danny Manning with 5 points as Craig Elo comes into the lineup. Stacey Augmon sits down. Manning celebrating his 28th birthday today.
Craig Elo suffered a broken nose in the game on Sunday. Didn't find out about it till he got back to Atlanta later that night. So he came back, he has that thing reset. He doesn't have a mask, but he says nothing's going to stop him from playing this game.
After he told me the pain he went through to get it reset, this is nothing. Outside, Fleming his first 2.
Big shot. Pacers get good help off the bench with Fleming and with Antonio Davis. We've talked about him.
Vern Fleming, who went to Georgia, has played more games in a Pacer uniform than any other player. Davis on the double team. Manning from 13 to sort of flip the shot up.
Well, that's Danny's shot. I mean, most of his, he just flicks up there. And I know you don't like that shot, but that's the way he shoots most of the time.
Belly's up on Smith. Scott for 3. Little off. Great job. Williams trying to keep it alive. Dale Davis comes down with the rebound, his 6th.
Well, they just eat you up on the offensive boards.
Inside, Scott, the acrobatic move. Manning, quick look out to Mookie Blaylock. Elo hustling. What a pass. Blaylock to Elo.
Larry Brown wanted offense and wanted defensive goaltending on the other end. It's one of the Hawks players reached up, grabbed the rim. He wanted the goaltend call, didn't get it. But what this does now with the quick shot, it starts the offense for the Hawks on the other end, and they get the high percentage shot, and they'll have a chance hit with a 3-point play.
Foul is on Williams, his 2nd. And here is Craig Elo. Elo, the 11th year pro out of Washington State. Hawks not very good from the free throw line tonight. They've made only 2 of 6. That will come back to hurt you. Fleming, step on Watley. Right after he got the basket, we have another whistle. It's a push.
I just can't say enough about what Vern Fleming does. His minutes for the playoffs are down because Byron Scott has been playing well, Reggie Miller has been playing well, and Workman, so they have been the 3-guard rotation. But you know what you're going to get from him every night. You get it on the defensive end, but he also can give you the points when you need it.
We played just over 2 minutes of the Omni Game 5 between the Pacers and the Hawks. Hawks trailing in the series 3-1. They have been out-rebounded in this series by an average of 44 to 38. And that has been the difference in these games. The only game the Hawks have won the Battle of the Boards was the game they won.
Well, that tells you the importance of the rebounding in this series because so much of the action is focused on the inside. But normally, Ron, when you play a game, you look at the rebound, and the team that wins the boards normally wins the game.
Fleming checks in with 5. He averaged 6.5 during the regular season, averaging 2 above that during this playoff series. Enos Watley. He's joined by Farrell, Elo, Lang, and Willis checks back in. Willis 4 of 5 in the early going.
Good movement there by the Hawks. That gives Willis a chance to work one-on-one, but look how quickly the Pacer defense adjusts.
Shot clock at 2. Farrell with 1, did not hit the rim. That'll be a 24-second violation. Good call, Ron Garrison.
Yeah, that's right. That's the proper call. The ball hit the backboard, did not hit the rim, and Lenny didn't argue.
No, the fans wanted it, but that was clearly up against the backboard.
Well, you take that ball into the paint, and the Pacers are going to send 3 people at you. When Rick Smits is on the floor, you have the 2 Davises out there, and they will go after every shot in the paint.
Indiana did not practice yesterday. Larry Brown said his team was dead tired. The Hawks went through just a light shooting drill, then about an hour of tape. Watching the game from Sunday. Watley with the steal. He has Elo. Bad pass. That was a Western Union. Telegraphed that one all the way. Lang gets away on a push. That'll be his first personal. That'll make Lenny Wilkins very frustrated.
Well, I said as Rick Smits makes shots, they come with the double team more aggressively. Now Watley comes in, gets the steal, but what you have to do here is make sure you convert it. Instead, he throws the ball up the floor, and the Pacers pick it off.
Smits the quick turnaround, in and out.
Well, he's not getting anything going towards the paint, so Lang doing his job, forcing him out away from the basket.
9-26, and it remains tied as Willis shot off the iron. Here comes Scott. Needs just 5 points to pass Bob Pettit. Moving at 17 in playoff scoring. Smits has it rejected by Andrew Lang from behind. Hawks have the numbers. Smits slow coming down. Farrell gets away with a little push. Again. The put back to Wade Farrell.
The Hawks working the offensive boards themselves there. Farrell, that's one thing he can do. He can find the open place around the basket and give them points that way.
The Atlanta Hawks need to score off turnovers. They're second best in the NBA in steals and forced turnovers.
They continue to go to Smits, and he's drawn the double team. They haven't gotten anything out of it yet.
Elo got a hand on it just enough to disrupt Antonio Davis coming down the paint.
I look for Reggie Miller to come in and to be a bigger part of the offense once he comes back on the floor. Everything focused on the inside. The Hawks with their great half-court defense taking that away from the Pacers right now. They don't have anyone that can knock the shot down from the outside.
Farrell gets away momentarily from Williams. Then he launches it short. Hawks not shooting the ball well. Smits passes it into the first row. Here comes Reggie Miller back into the lineup. Also coming back in, Dale Davis. Miller's 7 first-quarter points. Dale Davis yet to score.
The Pacers now with 3 guards on the floor. Reggie Miller will move down and play the small forward position as Vern Fleming, Byron Scott will take the guard.
Miller's going to stay with Elo, though, and Scott will pick up Farrell. Watley, not real threat to score. Shot clock at 2. Elo has to force it, doesn't get it. Great boxing out by Scott on Dwayne Farrell. No white shirts underneath.
You're seeing two pretty good defensive teams here when they get you to slow it down and get it into the half-court game. That's a look at the Pacers in their early offense, and that's why it's so important for them to push the ball down, get the ball off the boards.
Byron Scott with his first field goal of the evening. Down low, Lang with the left hand. That'll be goaltending.
Well, Antonio Davis gets up, and it's just too inviting. He can't pull his arm back. He wants to, and he waits as long as he can, and he comes across before the ball gets to the basket.
You know, it's funny, Jack, even though they won Game 4 and everybody thought it was an impressive win, Larry Brown says we didn't play well. We took 16 less shots. We had 8 more turnovers. A club record low, 65 shots. And he was very frustrated. He wanted his team to play a lot better tonight.
Yeah, I just don't think you can win many ball games when you get just 65 shots at basket. That means you have to shoot well into the 50s percentile to get it. And that's why Larry said we need more opportunities to score.
Well, Andrew Lang whistled for the foul, and at the same time, we take a timeout. So with 6:16 left in the half, Hawks by 2.
A new wind is rising.
Have the Reebok halftime report in a matter of minutes. The coach will give us his take on the first half of this Pacers-Hawks game. We'll look ahead to the second game of our doubleheader between the Suns and Rockets and hook up with Houston head coach Rudy Tomjanovich. That's all on the Reebok halftime report. Now back to Ron and the Goose, guys.
Well, Jack, it's a scary thought. 2 guys from Pittsburgh on the air at the same time. George Karl and myself. That could get ugly.
Watch out.
That could get ugly. Hawks lead by 2, 6:16, and part of the 1,000-plus Pacer fans that chartered a couple of planes to get here tonight, and they have made their presence welcome. And they are very loud up in the rafters of the Omni.
Well, that's Indiana basketball, Ron. If you look at their high school tournament where they sell 50,000, 60,000 seats, and their successful college programs, when they get into the tournaments, the fans follow their teams wherever they go. So they've been hungry for the Pacers to come to life and to give them something to cheer for. So they're here showing tonight that they are true Indiana fans.
Well, now the 12,000 plus the 1,000 Pacer fans here. The 12,000 Hawk fans stand up for a moment. Inside, McKee battling his way. Augment slapped it away. Well, at the conclusion of tonight's game, we'll be selecting the Budweiser Player of the Game. Budweiser will donate $1,000 in his behalf to the United Negro College Fund. Reggie Miller has hit only one of his last 5 shots. Smith is 1 of 5 from the floor, and believe it or not, Indiana's still within a pair.
Well, one thing they're doing now against Reggie, they are switching the screen along the baseline instead of trying to fight through it.
Great pass again. When the Hawks are on the break, they are very difficult to stop.
Well, it usually comes, Ron, when they're able to get that rebound off the basket the first time and throw the good outlet pass or off their stills. We've seen a lot of that in this game so far.
Hawks by 4. Nearing 5.5 left in the first 24 minutes of play. Haywood Workman will check into the Pacers lineup in a moment. Fleming goes baseline, doesn't get it. Nice rebound. Blaylock just slaps at it. Davis comes up with the loose pill.
Boy, he does not mind getting down there and getting dirty for that loose ball.
I was doing the whack when he was at UTEP, coached by Don Haskins, and he was a very active player both on the offensive end and the defensive end. And that's a case, Jack, that you made an interesting statement there. We talked about some of the players like Antonio Davis going overseas, getting a little seasoning. You said you wish you would have almost.
Yeah, I think it helps a lot of players when you might come out of college and you understand you need to make some adjustments in your game plan overseas as a way to do that and a way to get your confidence up. And I think that helped his game tremendously. Well, that's a low percentage shot, but he makes it look easy. Elo was right on top of it.
His second 3 of the ball game, Reggie Miller, who's only shooting 38% from the floor, 35% from the arc in this series. Then the Hawks with another bad pass. Indiana with a chance to take the lead. We have a hard foul, and down goes Workman.
He did the right thing taking the ball to the basket. The Hawk defense continued to retreat to pick up the people still in the lanes. It's going to be a 20-second timeout call. I think it might have been Augment that did most of the damage there, coming over to try to knock the shot away as he took it to the hole.
Haywood Workman down. We'll be able to see it again. Larry Brown comes over to make sure his point guard, who he thought wasn't even going to make the team, would start out as the third point guard on the spot, make sure he's okay.
That started more games than Vern Fleming and Poole Richardson, and there's the foul. Boy, Stacey Augmon gets him right across the face. And of course, the thing that you normally want in that situation, if you're Larry Brown and you saw his guy go to the floor, is the flagrant foul, but the officials don't see it that way. Watch Augmon come over and lay him right in, but he's going to be all right.
Blaylock whistle for the personal. That is his first. Fourth team foul here with 4:48 left in the half. And now Larry Brown discussing it. What a story, Haywood Workman. Second round pick by the Atlanta Hawks back in '89. Didn't play very much. Went over to Washington. Had a very good year in Washington. Then headed over to Italy for 2 years. Coached by Ken Trickey at Oral Roberts University. And Larry Brown told us he's never had a player who has improved more than Haywood Workman has this year.
Well, while he's not the player, was not the player when the Hawks let him go a few years ago that he is now, he feels that he shouldn't have been cut at that time by the Hawks, so he's wanting to play even better, and you saw his numbers in the open. He is, in fact, up as far as points per game is concerned. His minutes are up in this series against the Hawks. He wants to win this very badly.
He's a tough cookie. His 2 free throws give Indiana the lead again at 33-32. You saw the time remaining in the half. Seesaw battle tonight. If the Hawks lose, they'll be playing a country club of the South tomorrow at 9 o'clock in the morning. Manning has it rejected. Ball belongs to Indiana.
Well, that defense on the inside, when you take Rick Smits out of there and come with the Davises, you better be ready to take the ball to the hole because they're going to get a hand on most of them.
Double D plays some D. Well, Craig Elo got caught holding Derek McKee. That'll be Craig Elo's first personal foul. Coming up, of course, as Ernie mentioned, the Reebok halftime report. He's joined by George Karl of Seattle Supersonics. They'll be talking live with Rockets head coach Rudy Tomjanovich as his team gets ready for Game 5 versus the Phoenix Suns. That'll be coming your way at 4:22 plus a commercial.
Another thing that this lineup that the Pacers have on the floor right now, Ron, does for the Pacers, it puts the defense in a lot of serious mismatches. When you run Derek McKee at 6'10", at the small forward spot, that means Craig Elo is going to have to guard him now. So when they have had that situation before, a size advantage with McKee, they have put him down on the low post, and he's been very successful there.
Well, the Hawks had a 4-point lead, but the Pacers have gone on a 7-0 run the last minute and a half, and now they've taken the advantage by 3. Manning for about 18 on the left side. Willis whistled for the loose ball foul. Willis now with 2.
You know, Larry Brown is a good teacher. And I think so often when you talk about guys that teach the game of basketball the best, you look at some of the things they do on the defensive end of the floor, the fundamental things, because that's the part of the game that guys on this level do not want to work hard at. And a big part of defense is rebounding the basketball, putting your body on people, and making sure you have the inside position. And that is why Antonio Davis is on the line right now. Willis tried to go over his back.
That was the 15th foul, so Davis at the line, makes the first. And boy, I tell you what, Kevin Willis was real close to getting a technical from Ed Rush. He let Rush know he didn't appreciate that call.
Well, I think that's the thing Kevin is going to do, but I think if he's going to be effective, he's got to be a little bit more active and move his feet to try to get around Davis instead of going over the back. You're talking about big bodies in there right now.
Biggest lead of the ball game. It is at 5 inside of 4 minutes in the second. Ricky thought he had a step on Workman. He wanted a foul. I think the Hawks need to spend less time complaining about the calls. Start playing some offense.
Look at the blue shirts flying after every rebound.
Workman using the left elbow to keep Blaylock away, who's hand-checking Workman. Boy, they are going at it.
Yep, but he's patting the ball around too much.
And they're going to call an offensive foul on Haywood Workman. That could have gone either way.
Well, you're right, but the problem is he's patting the ball, just dribbling it out there, and he's not creating anything off the dribble. And you know, the shot clock now is down below 6, so even if you do get in your offense, you're going to have to rush the shot. Right. So he's going to have to move it a little bit quicker.
Haywood Workman does shoot only 42%, so he's not the guy you want to hustle up a shot. Whistle away from the basketball. Ryan Garrettson blows it. We've got a foul. That is on Dale Davis, his first personal.
Well, you'll see the action on the low post, and he's just going to grab Danny Manning to try to keep him from getting over the screen. And there was the foul.
New 24 for the Hawks. Pacers only their third team foul. Vern Fleming comes back into the lineup. Workman will sit down. He leaves with 2 personal fouls and a couple of points. What a unique year for these Indiana Pacers. Willis, nice ball fake. The glass won't go.
That's how you have to go get it. Now that's the way you go get it. You can't complain to the officials about that because you outworked everyone and you get rewarded for it.
10 points, 6 rebounds for Kevin Willis tonight. Elo right up on top of McKee. That's what Wilkins wanted coming into this game.
Yeah, but once he gets down low, he's virtually unstoppable in that matchup.
That's 12 for McKee, 5 of 8 from the floor. The lead is 5. Elo gets a good look at it.
Well, the Pacers tried to switch that time. Miller was a little late to jump, and by that time he was already over the screen, got caught up, and Elo was free for the shot.
14 points for the Hawks backcourt so far tonight. Mookie Blaylock, he is one of the all-time great feats this year in the league. The wraparound pass, Augment has his pocket picked. But Mookie Blaylock, third in the NBA in his steals, comes up with it. The Hawks have the ball, 18 on the shot clock, and they trail it by 3.
NBA playoffs on TNT are brought to you.
Gold medal at the '64 Olympics. First job was head coach of the Carolina Cougars back in 1972-73. Played his college ball in North Carolina. Blaylock rolls it down at home. Mookie Blaylock with 6 on the evening.
Well, one thing I have liked about Mookie's game here tonight on offense, he's remained patient. You haven't seen him force shots. He's waited for the offense to come to him, and he knocked that one down.
Blaylock hounding Fleming.
Well, look at how the Hawks are playing the passing lane. So Fleming had to go from one side to the other and back to the other side to try to get a pass to one of the forwards. They're going to have to free themselves up so the Pacers can get in their offense quicker.
We're in the final 2 minutes. Lenny Wilkins on the far side. Didn't like that because that'll send the Pacers to the line as the Hawks over the limit.
Vern Fleming still shoots that knuckleball from the free throw line. It's been his whole career. Virtually no rotation at all on that ball. That time he had more. But boy, it's a knuckleball every time it goes toward the rim.
Don't forget our second game of our doubleheader coming your way. We will have the Suns and the Rockets. Danny Manning all the way to the hoop. Danny Manning with 4 in the first quarter. 4 here in the second, 8 for the ball game.
And give the Hawks a delay of game warning as Danny Manning grabs the ball and throws it out of bounds after making the shot.
Pacers by 1 inside of a minute and a half.
Now look at how difficult it is for the Pacers to get into their offense.
Augment better not take his eyes off Reggie Miller. 3 seconds in the lane called on Antonio Davis.
Excellent half-court defense by the Hawks.
Elo backing in on McKee. But by the time he set up the offense, 15 on the shot clock. Good look inside. Danny Manning, he was being held from behind by Dale Davis. That's Dale Davis' second. Only the first foul in the final 2 minutes.
These teams do a lot of things similar on offense. They run people off of screens along the baseline. They take advantage of mismatched situations.
Blaylock from the arc, it goes.
Yeah. He has just remained patient, waited for the offense to come to him.
He was 3 of 20 in this series before that 3. Whistle, offensive foul on Derek McKee. He knocked over Craig Elo.
But watch Mookie here on this last play. Comes across the screen. Stacey Augmon running the offense from the outside. The Pacers want to switch that as you see Mookie jump out there, but he's way too late. Mookie knocks it down.
Indiana, 4 turnovers in the last 2 minutes as we now have our 8th lead change in the ball game. Manning rolls off the pick. Blaylock in and out. Willis kept it alive. Into the hands of Manning. Hawks making a run at it here late in the first half.
You don't hear this crowd at the Omni very often, but they're very loud right now. They're playing off of the energy of each other here. The defense has brought the crowd to life, and of course the crowd giving the Hawks something to look forward to on offense.
Hawks on a 7-0 run the last minute and 40. Shot clock at 5. Blaylock another steal. Comes up, uses the body. He's got the basket. We have a foul.
Great defense. Mookie Blaylock, so important to this team. And when he has it going like this, he is able to just continue to roam free. Pick his opportunities to shoot the gap from the weak side, and he concentrates, knows the contact is going to come, and has a chance for the three-point play.
Now we talked about Mookie Blaylock. As Dwayne Farrell comes in, Willis will sit down as he has 2 personal fouls. Lenny doesn't want him picking up his 3rd here. But Mookie Blaylock, what he does when the Hawks win, what he does when the Hawks lose. And there's a major difference. He's doing everything that he needs to do for this team to be successful this evening. 11 points for Blaylock.
Well, he starts the defense. He gets it started. The other players play off of him. And they have in this little run by the Hawks.
First team all defense in the NBA this year. Manning, nice job. Kept it alive. Farrell did it. Blaylock comes up with it. Still could get a good look. Manning pulled the string on it. No basket, but the Hawks close out the first half with a 9-0 run. Mookie Blaylock, 11 points, 7 in the quarter to go along with 5 assists. And as we go to break, the Hawks lead it 47-41. Stay with us. Ernie Johnson and George Karl next with the Reebok halftime report.
Everybody hates to eat and run. We'd rather take it slow. But the way this life is going, gotta grab your food and go. And when all that running round catches up with you at last, get yourself some Alka-Seltzer and you'll feel better fast.
For acid indigestion or
Derek McKee for the Pacers. Reggie Miller checked in with 10. Hawks put 3 players in double figures in that opening half. Manning with 10, Willis with 10, Blaylock with 11. Mookie Blaylock scored all 11 of his points in the last 2 minutes of each quarter. Both those spurts ignited the Hawks on 6-0 and 9-0 runs. Ball hit the top of the basket. Indiana retains possession, 12 on the shot clock.
I think it's important for Willis when you talk about his 10 points, where they have come from. Yes, he has been around the basket for a couple, but he's mixing it up. He stepped out and faced the basket on a couple of shots as well.
Both teams going with their same starting 5s. Miller for 3, buries his 3rd of the ball game.
Boy, you know, you think you have the guy under wraps, and all of a sudden he goes out. And the thing is, for a defensive player, you just don't expect guys to take that shot in the floor of the offense.
Willis from outside. This is where the Hawks started, though, shooting outside with their big men. Meanwhile, streaking down the court, Dale Davis beating everybody down. McKee left open from 18. Derek McKee, who averaged 12 points a game in the regular season, now with 14 in this series. He has not been as successful, only 7.5, shooting just 42%. Blaylock for 3 off the back of the iron. Willis has it taken away by one of those D guys again. Dale Davis.
Can't go wrong. Just say Davis on the rebound. The Hawks now trying to extend their defense. That's one of the things that Lenny Wilkins said he had to do in this game. The Hawks had to come out, had to play the guys on the jump shots, and they're trying to do that right now. The Pacers, though, their 2 baskets here have come from the outside.
Well, Stacey Augmon and Rick Smits just were separated. We had a flagrant foul call. Flagrant foul was on Augmon. That'll send Smits to the line to shoot 2 plus possession. But Smits and Augmon started jawing. And they came over and had a step in between them.
And Lenny grabs him out of there very quickly because this is not the kind of game that you can have guys giving freebies. You know, this free throw right here, these two free throws, Rick Smith doesn't even have to work for it. He gets it because of Stacey Augmon here. You'll see him give him the high forearm, and that's why Lenny took him out of there.
Right into the throat of Rick Smith, which is difficult to do when you're 7'4", and Stacey Augmon only 6'8".
You can't say it's an accident when it happens.
No, not on somebody 7'4".
No.
Smith sets the pick. Workman tries to work off it. Shot clock inside of 10.
Nice play there.
Missed the roll. Willis got a piece of it. Manning keeps it alive. Elo into the lineup for Augmon. They give Manning some room. He takes advantage. He was expecting contact to cut through the paint. He didn't do it. Hawks buy a break. Indiana kicks the ball.
Now, I don't know if that kick was intentional or not. I think you had Danny Manning going to the basket. He tried to find someone to throw it to and actually threw it off of Workman's lower leg. Instead, he gets called for the violation.
Well, afterward, John Contact looked at him and said, I know. Jack left open from 18, way short. Willis there for the rebound, and he has it taken away by Miller. And then John Contact, a very, very silly foul.
You just make it worse. I mean, you put yourself in the spotlight by shooting the air ball, and he just pulled the trigger there. It's been that kind of game for John Contact, and he goes over and gives a word of advice to Andrew Lang, and he's probably saying, don't shoot an air ball.
Yeah.
These people don't like that.
Well, Cat goes down, sits down at the end of the bench. Lenny Wilkins going to his bench early, taking Augmon and Contact out. Just about 2 minutes played in the third. Miller, the running right-hander, won't go. Willis the rebound. He has 8 for the ball game.
Boy, watch Elo and Workman.
There's a whistle and a foul, and Rush makes the call on Haywood Workman. That is his third.
Well, that started down on the other end as Elo got a shot to the chest just as Smits did from Workman, and Elo sought him out to try to get him to commit the foul.
Elo from the arc. Greg Elo, his first 3 of the ball game, he has 9 points. Elo is now 4 of 5 from the three-point arc in this series, and Indiana throws it away. 4 ties, 10 lead changes so far, and then the Hawks. Let's see who they're going to call. The officials are looking.
It'll be the Pacer ball. What happened is Elo tried to get an easy one to Blaylock, who was leaking out, and he just threw the ball right over the head of Mookie Blaylock. So the Hawks miss an opportunity there.
Workman is the outlet. Reggie Miller worked off a pick set by Dale Davis. Elo could not catch up.
That is so sweet.
Boy,
you can catch the ball going away from the basket, getting your body squared up before the defense makes the adjustment and gets it to the hole.
Manning, the wild shot, it won't go. Whistle and a foul. But watch how Reggie Miller squares up the shoulders when he's running.
And watch when he catches the ball, though. He's going the other direction, and you see him square up. Well, the key to making that play work is making sure you give him a good pass right where his hands are so he doesn't have to waste time adjusting it if it's too high or too low.
Foul was on Smits. Mr. Miner coming up next, the Suns and the Rockets. That's going to be a war. Bob Neal, Doug Collins standing by for that ball game. Of course, we'll keep you posted on Denver and Utah. Danny Manning perfect from the line, 3 of 3. Talking about Reggie Miller, though, one of the things the coach has said is one thing they've done this year, they've gotten him to play defense. And he's had more of an all-around game. In years past, this Indiana team, there's no big secret. They all had their own agenda. Scoring points, making all-star teams, whatever. This year, they're all on the same page.
Well, Larry says, and I don't know if a whole lot of people outside of Indiana will agree with this, but he's working so hard to make people think he's a villain type because he likes to play off the energy of the opposing crowd. He said in reality, though, he's a great guy, and he just does anything he can to help the team win.
Pacers can't take advantage of a couple of mismatches on the switch.
And Vader and Rap.
The offense. That means breaking down some defense and creating some shots for some people.
94, Sunday, May 22nd, 7 p.m. Eastern.
catching the ball, and instead of either reversing it to the other side of
And action on pay-per-view.
It takes more.
His 5th point of the quarter. The crowd is not a sellout, but it is loud.
And you take away that 1,000 or so that Indiana sold,
Yeah.
and you wouldn't have hardly anyone here.
Inside. Willis is going to have. No, that'll be a shot clock violation. I thought it was.
Eric Lusano talked to Luis Matar about this yesterday. It has really made a huge impact. Hard.
Arms around Del Davis, but he prevented him from scoring the basket. And of course, when you're the most aggressive team, and I think during this little stretch, the Hawks are, you're going to get benefits and the benefit of those calls.
Larry Brown sits down. He's not pleased. Blaylock trying to get some daylight. Opens up. Elo buries the 3.
Well, that's just a great job of half-court execution by Blaylock. Now, I'm talking about breaking down the defense, getting something going to the hole. Workman not doing that, but you saw when Mookie did that, he's able to free up a shot for someone else.
The NBA playoffs on TNT are brought to you by Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
Rick Smits pushed off to get that offensive rebound and the dunk, and he's still letting him know about it.
Reggie Miller does not miss very many free throws. 91% on the year. He was 21 of 26 coming into this game in this series. The technical was on Brian Winters, and he's pleading his case to Steve Javy.
Well, that assistant coach is just not supposed to get up and question a call by the official at all. And there's Brian Winters.
He was quite a player in his day.
Yes, he was.
How about this for the Hawks? They're shooting 64% from 3, 48% from 2, 44% from the free throw line, and they're winning.
What's wrong with that picture, huh?
Yeah, really. That's normal here in Atlanta. Elo gonna make Miller work on defense. 3 to shoot. Off-balance shot won't go. Kevin Willis definitely had a beef on that one.
Yeah,
Eric McKee had his hand on his shoulder and just pushed off.
Well, the problem is when you beef every time up and down, the officials don't know when to take it for real. I wouldn't think that's just what he's done all night.
Now Lang and Smits. Lang takes an elbow right to the face, and that's going to be an offensive foul. The official in the backcourt, Ed Rush, made the call.
Well, Lang is going to body up on Smits right here. Now watch. And he's going to swing that forearm right around. Get him right there. And that's not where the call came. It came late. But Lang will take it. He takes it like a man, walks the other way. Rick Smits picks up number 4. So he's going to have to take a seat.
He sits down. Larry Brown going to his bench. Not much of a drop-off when you think of Antonio Davis at 6'9", 230. Hawks by 5. We're just about halfway through the third quarter in Atlanta. First of 2 tonight on TNT. Lang, not a pretty shot. Ball goes out. Indiana has the basketball.
And Reggie Miller is
hurt. Reggie Miller is down on the floor. And he's going to crawl to the bench.
Trying to get to the bench.
And I'm not sure exactly what happened. We'll try to get an update.
As he came down with the ball, Mookie Blaylock kind of snuck under him to try to get a hand on it for the steal. Now he'll come down with the rebound. Now watch Mookie. Gets right in there, bang knees again. That's pretty much what Danny Manning and Kevin Willis did, and that's hurts.
Now Byron Scott into the lineup for the Pacers. He's double teamed by Lang and Elo. 8 to shoot.
Now the offense from the outside is going to be geared to Byron Scott. You know that's going to happen. And there's Mookie with the rebound.
And Elo breaks out on the right side. Blaylock. Good shot by Elo is good.
Good use of the backboard. That's the only way that shot's going to go.
Reggie Miller is up off the bench, trying to do a little stretching. We'll keep you posted on him. 7-point lead by Atlanta matches their biggest. Pacers with 6 to shoot. They look totally disjointed offensively.
Yeah, because you don't have Reggie Miller spread from the outside, so you can get help from everybody. You can go over and you can play defense all out because you don't have to keep your eye on Reggie. The only offensive player now on the floor from the outside is Byron Scott, so he's going to get some attention, but everyone else can roam around.
Second 24-second violation on the Pacers. They've turned the ball over now 16 times.
Yeah, you need to go back to Elo, and he made one pass too many. I mean, Elo is the guy that's hot right now, so he needs to continue to look at the basket. Good idea, but the defense for the Pacers were right there in the lane.
Kevin Willis, not known for great hands, lost it. Pacers had 11 three-pointers on Sunday. They only have 3 tonight, all by Reggie Miller. Byron Scott shot won't go. Manning with the rebound, the outlet to Elo. He has Willis on the left. Takes it himself, and he goes. No.
That's okay. Be selfish right now if you're Craig Elo, because he's the guy that has it going. So the rest of the guys around him expect him to shoot the ball right now.
And Reggie Miller, we understand, has a twisted ankle. They need him. The Pacers only 2 points the last 4.5 minutes.
Now watch the Indiana offense and see how it is geared to the paint right now. No confidence from the outside from anyone with Reggie Miller on the bench. So everything's going to come in the paint. It's going to make it very easy for the Hawks on defense.
Vern Fleming, the offensive foul. Hawks with their biggest lead of the game. It's 9. If they win, it is game 6, which will be played in 2 nights. Manning, the spin move, won't go. Manning, 10 points, 12 points in the ball game. Only 2 in this quarter.
Something has to come from the outside for the Pacers. Everything geared toward the paint, and that's where the big people for the Hawks are.
Scott dribbling through the double, goes up, the shot won't go, but he does draw the foul, and Jack Gibbons with the assist on the loose ball. Manning picks up foul number 2. And that's the 4th team foul on the Hawks in this quarter. 3:48 left to play in the third. Atlanta by 9. Substitutions by both teams. Sam Mitchell will see his first action tonight. The 5th-year pro out of Mercer, which is right here in Georgia. And Haywood Workman also comes in. Dale Davis sits down. And Vern Fleming sits down. Danny Manning takes a seat as Dwayne Farrell checks in for the Hawks. Byron Scott at the line. 2 points in the ball game.
It's amazing how the offense can be there one night and can go away the next. And Larry Brown was concerned because his team got just 65 shots at the basket in the game Sunday afternoon. They won that game, but they shot a high percentage. He felt like he had to get more looks, had to get something out of the break.
Kenny Williams, number 44, comes in. Derek McKee sits down. Byron Scott, who has more playoff appearances than the entire Indiana team combined. Smooth veteran drops them both down. 4 points in the ball game. Needs only 1 more point to pass Bob Pettit for 17th place on the all-time playoff scoring list. Whistle away from the ball. Willis trying to post up on Mitchell.
I think if you're going to take advantage of Kevin Willis on the low post, this is the time to do it. If you look at the lineup in there for the Pacers, they're obviously very, very small with Dale Davis out of there along with Rick Smits. So give it to Kevin down on the baseline here. See where the double team's going to come from and what you can get out of the offense.
Blaylock. Elo working off a couple of screens. Shot clock at 9. Still time. Farrell gets a good look. Dwayne Farrell, who played his college ball right here at Georgia Tech. A lot of whistles in this second half, which plays havoc on my 11:10 flight to Newark.
Yeah, you got to work tomorrow night. What's happening right now is with this lineup on the floor for the Pacers, it's going to fall a lot on Byron Scott here to get the offense going to where the Pacers need it right now. So get Byron a lot of credit right here. He's working very hard to make sure that he has the ball in his possession every time down. He's picked up the foul his last 2 times.
Jack, you can't measure chemistry on any ball club in the NBA. As McKee comes back in and Mitchell sits down, the chemistry of Indiana enhanced so much with the addition of Scott. And I think there were a lot of people surprised that he was still around when Indiana finally did sign him.
Well, Larry was really surprised. He had tried to get him for a long time. He has liked him. Had he stayed with the Clippers, he was going to go after him last season to come over from the Los Angeles Lakers to come over with him with the Clippers. He was still there when they felt they needed to add some potency in the backcourt, and fortunately for the Pacers, he was.
Hawks by 8 inside of 3 minutes. Blaylock, the quick look, hard shot off the backboard.
Still think you got to get Willis the ball right now.
Scott dribbling through a bunch of white jerseys, and he connects.
Still think if you're going to get Willis shots on the low post at any time in this ball game, this is the time to do it.
Loving and Watley going to check into the lineup.
Well, it is getting physical around the hole.
Kenny Williams whistled for the foul. That's his 3rd personal. And we'll take a timeout with 2:35 left in the 3rd. The Hawks by 6.
See the legendary
To be played in the 3rd quarter. One of the big moves this year was this man. Just an absolute hero here in Atlanta. Dominique Wilkins being traded to the Clippers for Danny Manning. And I tell you, I don't think there's been a trade in this city, at least, that's caused that much uproar than that trade, because Dominique is so loved here in Atlanta.
And not only did he play here, of course, he played his college ball at the University of Georgia. So he had a bunch of fans back then. And there's a look at Danny Manning. I think it's going to work out for both teams. But I'm sure Dominique, who is a big part of where the Hawks are right now, would like to still be playing basketball.
Oh, yeah. Well, Reggie Miller remains on the bench, but the good news for Indiana, since he sat down, the Hawks have only outscored the Pacers 6-5. They've only upped the advantage to +1.
Well, they still haven't run a play on Willis's side of the floor.
Lang gets away from everybody. They're going to call a jump ball. 2 blue jerseys hanging on the basketball. Now let's take a look at tonight's Chevrolet scoreboard. Lenny Wilkins wants to see it. Utah leading Denver 10-8. That's in the 1st. Jazz, of course, 1 game away from advancing. And we've got Charles and Akeem standing by. That'll be McKee and Lang jumping it up. Ron Garrison moving back a little bit.
And he's going to make Lang, I think, scoot back just a little bit.
And then Andrew puts his foot right back where it originally was. Well, Dwayne Farrell had a shot at it, but he knocked it right into the hands of Antonio Davis. Elo, 12 points in the quarter, the rest of the team 4, Jack. So when they do come back on offense, you're right, they've got to get somebody else involved.
Well, I thought this would have been an excellent time to get it to Willis. They have just elected to go the other way. But you see with this unit on the floor, how you take advantage of situations. You make sure the guy gets the ball that is supposed to have it. That's Byron Scott.
Watley going to be grabbed from behind by Antonio Davis. That'll only be his 2nd personal foul. Let's see if they're going to give him a clear path to the basket. Reggie Miller comes back into the lineup. Miller with 15 in the ballgame.
Thought Byron Scott did a good job making sure that he was the guy, the go-to guy on offense, and Reggie will pick it up right now.
Watley, one of those players that you wouldn't expect to be on the Hawks roster this year. Originally a 1st-round pick back in 1983 by Kansas City. Has played with numerous clubs, including back in Israel last year.
He's been in the league 7 years, and he's played with 7 different teams.
Not bad. He's consistent. Hawks lead is 7 inside of 140 left in the 3rd.
Elo continues to work hard on defense, though.
Miller just takes a step back, got him on the arm. Craig Elo's 3rd personal foul. That'll send Miller to the line to shoot a couple. Reggie Miller out of UCLA, first-round pick back in '87, 11th overall.
And he's missed 2 free throws.
Unbelievable. Highest free throw percentage of his career. Highest three-point percentage of his career. Finished second in free throws in the NBA. He only makes 1 of 3. 6 for Miller in the quarter, 16 for the ball game. The Hawks up by 6.
You know, you talked about Enos Watley on this team. He's played in every ball game this season for the Hawks. So he has been a valuable key. But that is one reason why Mookie has had to play so much. He doesn't get a lot of minutes. Mookie has to be out there a lot. And Mookie a little bit tired in this stretch of the season.
Ferrell with 6 points already tonight.
The Hawks tried to add another point guard to their team before the trading deadline.
Coming up, Suns and Rockets. That series tied up at 2 games apiece. And then tomorrow night, we'll have a dandy for you on tap. It'll be the Knicks in Chicago from the Garden in New York. UB Brown standing by at the hotel, waiting for me to show up. Miller for 3, buries the 3 again, his 4th of the ball game.
And Lenny is all over Craig Elo, because that is the one thing you tell your number 2 guard when you play against the Pacers. Do not leave Reggie Miller.
Now we have an illegal defense called on Indiana, and Kevin Willis pleading his case again to Steve Javie.
Well, he's saying Antonio Davis is playing him a little bit too tight and holding him some. And Willis is just simply going to have to keep his cool. We've talked about him complaining all night to the officials, and that might be one reason why he's not getting the benefit of any of the calls right now, in his mind.
They're hammering each other down there. Watley, not really a shooter. Doesn't get it. Ferrell tries to keep it alive. 4 blue jerseys around Dwayne Ferrell, and they come out of the pack with it. Trailing by 4, 45 seconds left in the 3rd.
And now you have 2 guys that can knock the shot down from 3. Byron Scott and Reggie Miller. So you can't relax at all. There he is again.
That's a 2. It won't go. Offensive rebound, McKee. The putback rejected by Andrew Lang. That's a big-time block. But Indiana with 17 to shoot.
Well, they reset the shot clock. I don't know for sure why they did that, but the Pacers now will be able to work for the last shot at the basket.
5-second difference between the shot and the game. Did Kevin Willis touch it? Ron Gerritsen says no. Eddie Rush says no. Hawks have it. 8.5 left in the quarter. They need to be patient and get a good look at this, Jack.
Well, they got plenty of time.
Andrew Lang from 10. Too strong. Elo goes down hard. We have a whistle and a foul, but that's no foul. Just a whistle to end the quarter. Reggie Miller lights it up for a couple of threes in the quarter. He's 4 of 7 from the arc, and that pulled the Pacers within 4. We have 12 minutes left. Will we play another game? We'll find out in a moment. That is the Georgia Dome right by the Omni in Atlanta. Over 1,000 Pacer fans have come, but right now their team down by 4, but not because of Reggie Miller. 9 in the quarter.
Well, watch Elo come in to help out on Vern Fleming. That is what you cannot do against Reggie Miller, because that's all the time he needs to knock down the three-point shot.
Now Reggie Miller, 292 three-pointers attempted this year. The rest of the team just 208. He's 4 for 4 this evening. The rest of the team 0 for 3. 19 points. He'll begin the 4th quarter sitting down, getting a little rest. He hurt his ankle in that 3rd quarter. Came back with strength. Mookie Blaylock's also starting on the bench, so the Hawks going with Manning, Ferrell, Elo, Lang, and Watley.
Well, what you're seeing from the Hawks right now on offense, they rode Elo's back for a while. He gave them a lot of points. Now they're starting to put the ball on the floor, creating some stuff, because the Pacers have had to extend their defense to take away some of the jump shots.
4-point Atlanta lead. 1 game away from elimination. The Pacers 1 game away from the Eastern Conference Finals. 10 on the shot clock. Hawks retain possession of the basketball.
Now, Del Davis checked back into the game. He sat for a long time. The Hawks were not able to take advantage of his absence around the paint with some of the bigger people. We'll see how it works now if they can get any points down low.
Burrell facing up on McKee, splits the paint, loses the handle. Lang from the outside, clangs it off the back of the iron. That'll be a loose ball foul called on the Hawks.
Not a good shot there, and Lenny's going to reload here with Stacey Ogwin. Mookie Blaylock will come back into the ballgame.
Foul was on Burrell, his second. So Watley and Elo sit down. Elo with a big quarter in number 3 with 12, including a couple of threes. But Atlanta's struggling offensively. No field goals the last 4 minutes. Only a couple of free throws. Fleming inside. He gets the roll. Vern Fleming. And the Hawks quickly down the other way. The wraparound pass by Blaylock. Threw it away.
One pass too many. Mookie got to the basket. Should have looked to the hole, but you know you have shot blockers in there when the 2 Davises are there, so you make that extra pass.
It is a 2-point game inside of 11 minutes in the 4th and final. Fleming posting up on Blaylock. Can't get it to go. Burrell tips it to Blaylock. He's got offense. Nice look, Stacey Ogwin.
Now you get the ball that close to the basket, you can't think about shooting it. You can't think about passing it. You have to think about getting it up towards the basket.
Ogman swiped at the ball, whistled for the foul. That'll be Ogman's second personal. Second team foul of the quarter. Pacers ball just to our right. Fleming running the show. 10th-year pro out of Georgia. All-time Indiana assist leader. Picked by Antonio Davis.
The Hawks now switching every cut along the baseline.
Antonio Davis barrels his way through. He gets the basket and he draws the whistle.
One thing that happens when you switch every play, you get yourself out of position on defense a lot. And Lang now is caught up with Davis, and you see him step out to switch, and that puts Davis on Farrell, a much smaller player, and he just takes advantage of it right there.
Andrew Lang whistled for his 4th personal foul. Workman comes back in. Fleming sits down, and Antonio Davis goes to the line. Davis, who's number 1 in the postseason in field goal percentage, can't get the free throw to go, and the Hawks lead remains at 2. Burrell has it knocked out by Derek McKee, and we have a timeout. 9:53 left to be played in the basketball game. The Hawks are staying alive, at least for a moment. (67-65) with 9:53 left to be played in the ball game. And here's tonight's Dutch boy in the paint. And no, it is not Rick Smith.
No, he's not going to factor in this ball game. The Pacers hanging on the rebound total, which is a very important stat in this ball game. Points in the paint. The Hawks have been there because of their offense more so than what they've gotten in their, the early offense more so than what they've gotten in their half-court game. Kevin Willis has not played a lot of minutes in this game.
And those 2 came in the second quarter for Willis. That's a very telling stat right there.
Yeah, Mookie's number is very similar in the wins and losses, but they need a whole lot more from Kevin Willis if they're going to continue on in this series.
Willis has the heating pad on the right knee. Larry Brown on the other side, one of the most superstitious coaches in the NBA. He does things like shaves the same way on game days, wears a white handkerchief in his breast pocket of his sports coat. Whistle, timeout. They're going to take it at 20. But Larry Brown, when he was at Kansas, if you spilled salt on the day of the game, that's a bad sign. He had to jog with his coaches on the day of the game. And in fact, when he was a coach at San Antonio, we had 3 San Antonio Spurs games. They were 0-3 on TNT, and when he saw us walk into the practice, he turned pale. But one of the great coaches
wouldn't shake your hand, would he?
Would not shake my hand. One of the great coaches in the league.
He said, I can talk to you, Ron, but I'm not going to touch you.
That's right. 7 years of college coach, 3 trips to the Final Four, 1 at 88 with Kansas. And to tell you that he wasn't prepared for this, going this far in the playoffs, his baby is due in 5 weeks. He needs hip surgery. He thought he would get done sometime this week. And his daughter graduated from North Carolina on Sunday that he was planning on going to see. These playoffs just mess everything.
Just get in the way of everything.
Utah Denver 21-20 in the second. Artie Johnson will keep you posted on that score. Plus we'll have a little bonus coverage later on in the evening. Blaylock all the way to the hole. There's Mookie Blaylock. First points of the second half.
Well, he made up his mind long before he got to the paint that he was going to shoot it.
Smith's now battling Lang. They are grabbing and pulling each other. Lang throwing elbows to keep Smith's out of the lane. 8 to shoot. Now Lang, 3 to shoot. Cross court, 1 to shoot. They're not going to get it off. The third 24-second violation for the Pacers this evening.
Well, that's just an excellent job in the half-court defense by the Hawks. And Lang, give him a lot of credit. They wanted to go down low to Rick Smits. He did an excellent job of bodying up, fronting him, and pushing him out of the lane, so he was not a factor in that offensive set.
And you saw Larry Brown yell at Smits, "What are you waiting for?" Blaylock
waiting for Lang to get out of the way.
Manning off the glass for 2. Exactly. Andrew Lang doing a nice job of taking Smits off the block. Reggie Miller wants to come in for Indiana. The lead is 6 with 8:52 left. Good pass. Scott, the finger roll won't go. The tip won't go. Farrell. Augment. He has Blaylock spotting up.
Well, he did the right thing here. Just don't force it. Make sure you get a good shot at the basket. You might not make it, but you want to get a good look.
Manning slow to come across the timeline. Sets a couple of picks. Now Manning on Workman. Blaylock sees the mismatch, takes advantage of it. Timeout, Indiana. 9 assists by Mookie Blaylock tonight.
Well, I mentioned when you switch a lot, you get yourself in bad situations. And watch right here as the switch comes. And Danny Manning working against Workman. Too big a size advantage for the Hawks on that play.
Our score, the Hawks lead it by 8 with 8:20 left to be played in the ball game. Coming up next, the Suns and the Rockets. What a battle out west. Series tied up at 2 games apiece. Doug Collins, Bob Neal standing by for that basketball game. And tomorrow night, the Bulls versus the Knicks. That series knotted up at 2 games apiece like it was last year. Indiana just 33% here in the quarter. The Hawks 4 of 5 for 80%. Now Miller back in, which is good news for Indiana because since he's been out, the Hawks are on a 6-0 run.
Yeah, and every time he has been out of the game, he has come back in, and he has loaded it up very quickly from behind the three-point line. Stacey Augmon is going to have the job of staying with Reggie Miller. The Hawks have been switching a lot as he has made the move along the baseline. That's how he has gotten open.
Well, Farrell almost on a mismatch with McKee. He didn't have a whole lot to do there. He almost had to commit the foul. That is his 3rd.
Well, the thing is, McKee had 12 points at the half. You look at him now, he has just 14. So somehow he has been lost in the Pacer offense.
4th team foul on the Hawks. We still have a lot of time left. That could be a big factor. That'll be a traveling call on Rick Smith.
He is just getting knocked around by the Hawks on the inside. He's not able to hold his position. Once he catches the ball, they are pushing him out further into the floor, and he shuffled his feet that time.
There's a stat, 20-12 on turnovers. But the Indiana Pacers were 25th in the regular season in turnovers, so they do throw it away a lot. First 24 for the Hawks with 7:53 left after the kick.
The thing that's different for the Hawks tonight when you talk about the pace of turnovers is the fact that they've been able to get something out of those turnovers.
outside of the one at the beginning of the ball game, which we showed you. The Mookie Blaylock wasn't able to convert. Manning gets inside. Oh, man. Talk about a rejection. Dale Davis tried to hurt the ball.
That was for real. I mean, he wanted that one.
Take the air out of Mr. Spalding.
Well, Danny gets bumped a little bit here, but watch Dale Davis recover. Not tonight.
Oh, baby, get that egg out of my basket, you bunny. Oh, that's pretty. Antonio Davis in. Smits gets out. And he's probably not in the best of eyes of Larry Brown right now. 14 to shoot for the Hawks. Workman quickly out to get Blaylock.
Well, good job.
Nice job defense, Antonio Davis. Workman on the break. Miller spotting up the three. Doesn't get it, and McKee takes it away from Manning.
Augman's just going to have to stay at home. I mean, that normally is all the time Reggie needs to knock it down.
There's the double. Manning and Blaylock. Burrell does a nice job picking up Davis. 7 to shoot. Inside, Davis rejected by Farrell. The shot goes up by McKee. He buries it. A lot of bodies all over the place here.
You're right. Well, the Hawks wanted to extend their defense. They didn't want the Pacers beating them from behind the three-point line tonight. And other than the baskets Miller has made from the outside, they have done a good job of that.
Blaylock tries to finger roll it up, gets the offensive rebound, but he stepped out of bounds. 6:49 left in the game. The Hawks lead it by 6. Once again, if Indiana wins this series, is history. If not, the Hawks have a chance to make history. Only 4 teams have come back from 3-1 deficits. Only one in the last 13 years. Here comes Blaylock after the Workman miss. Nice pass to Lang. What a play, Mookie Blaylock.
Nice pass, Mookie Blaylock, and he waited long enough for Lang to free himself up. Lang doing an excellent job of filling the lane.
Lang running the court the way he did for the Razorbacks and Nolan Richardson.
And they'll give Workman the shot until he knocks one down.
And he didn't. Lang, the big rebound.
He
did
played
contact early. Jack has not sniffed the court since.
Well, since he shot that air ball, he's not been back in the ball game.
Last touch by Antonio Davis. Hawks have it.
Well, this is the Hawks game right here. Rebounding, getting steals, and then getting on the fast break and converting.
6 minutes left in the ball game. Manning. The Lang cutting in the paint. Off balance shot won't go. He lost his feet. Fans want the call, but it wasn't there.
Well, he tried to draw the foul that time, and there's Miller again. Stacey
Oh my! Reggie Miller, his 5th 3 of the ball game.
And Stacey Augman just turned his head long enough, and I keep pointing that out, but that's all it takes for Reggie. Just turning.
Reggie Miller, 5 of 6 from the arc, cuts the Hawk lead down to 5. Scoring game of the Hawks on top 75-70 with 5:42 left to be played. Reggie Miller 5 of 6 from the arc tonight.
Well, 2 reasons why the Pacers are never out of a ball game. They're a very good defensive team, and then you have guys who can knock down the three-point shot.
Reggie Miller and the Pacers 36% in the second half. The Hawks have cooled down somewhat, but they're still shooting the ball well. Reggie Miller really shooting the ball well. Miller with 22 points in the ball game. Now the Hawks told us before the game, Craig Elo specifically, that this team was not going to panic. They had a good feel about tonight's game. They've played their type of game, but they have not been able to pull away from Indiana. Whistle and a foul.
Well, it's interesting right now they're going to Andrew Lang, a guy whose offense has really come to life in this series, a guy that normally is not one of the first options in their half-court offense.
At the line shooting a pair, it's going to be Andrew Lang. 69% during the regular season for Lang. 6 for 8 in this series. Willis on the bench. He had 8 first-quarter points, only 2 in the second. And is it the knee?
I don't think
Or
it
is it
tonight.
Indiana?
I think it's more Indiana. And the fact that he has been used as a decoy here tonight.
Manning, a great job sneaking behind the Davises. Manning in the paint. That is a major swing for the Hawks. They lead it by 8.
Well, their defense is what we've seen from the Hawks all year once again here tonight.
McKee, a spin move and a big-time jam for Derek McKee. 18 points.
They have gone to him a lot against Farrell, taking advantage of his size.
Triple-double tonight for Blaylock. 13 points, 10 rebounds, 11 assists. He's done his part. He needs a little help. There's the double team. Somebody's got to be open. Farrell has it swatted away. Indiana stepped down the outline. It belonged to the Hawks with 6 to shoot.
Well, that double team on Blaylock comes out so high here that it forces the passes to be long. Now watch as they double up. You see Antonio Davis, Mookie lucky to get it there. And Farrell had the shot, should have taken it. Instead, he put it on the floor. And the Hawks still get a look at the basket.
Ogman, the left-handed shot, no good. Had the rebound, comes right back to Atlanta. And Mookie Blaylock.
I think they need to back it out, make sure they get a good shot at the hole.
Elo doesn't get it. Manning is fouled on the play. Elo got a good look at it.
Well, he shot it under pressure, but the ball didn't get to the rim. The thing is, Danny Manning was there to bail him out. But now you have to start looking at the clock. If you're the Hawks, it's 4:25 left, and you have to make sure you convert every opportunity or at least get a good look at the basket because of the Pacers' ability to knock down the three-point shot.
Manning now 4 of 5 from the stripe. He has 18 points. Utah leading Denver by 5. They are in the second. Ooh, that hurts. The Hawks have not spent a lot of time at the free throw line tonight, which is good because they haven't shot well from the line tonight. Bad pass. Lang comes up with the gift.
Now, once again, good shot at the basket every time down for the Atlanta Hawks.
Ogman working off a pick by Lang. Blaylock spotting up in the far corner.
Lang has been big.
Doesn't get it short on the jumper. Davis with the rebound. 6-point Hawk lead inside of 4 minutes.
Okay, where's Reggie Miller? That's the guy you got to keep your eye on.
Elo trying to stay close to him. Miller around the right side. A nice pick set by Indiana. They can't take advantage of it. Ball belongs to the Hawks.
Well, Elo, give him a lot of credit.
Now Manning and Workman getting tied up. Manning tried to make a quick break to the paint because he saw all Indiana's backs were facing the wrong way. Workman just reached out and grabbed him, picked up his 4th.
By committing the foul, he saves the basket.
Neither team has a foul to give. Both are at 14 fouls. Blaylock inside, try to come up with a rebound. Antonio Davis with the board. Workman lost the handle. We have a whistle. Almost a break for Atlanta. Blaylock now has 3. At the line, it will be Haywood Workman. A guy they weren't sure could play for. He's done a nice job.
He's had to learn that position. He was a 2-guard for the most part. He's had to come over. He's had to play that position. And as I mentioned earlier in this ball game, he started more games this season than both Pooh Richardson, who would have been the starting guard, but for injuries, he's had to sit out a lot, and Vern Fleming, who was going to be the backup.
Nice job, Workman. 4 for 4 from the line. All his points coming from the stripe. The lead is down to 4. We're nearing 3 minutes left in the game. Indiana with 3 full timeouts and a 20. The Hawks with just 2 full timeouts. Neither team has a foul to give. Manning gets a step on Davis. We have a whistle and a foul. No basket. Well, Antonio Davis now with 4 personal fouls. As you see, the game reset. And Byron Scott will check into the lineup. Larry Brown going to take out Dale Davis. How about the Hawks free throw shooting though, Jack? 7 of 17.
That's amazing. Danny missed his last 2 free throw attempts. Now, Larry Brown made the move to get Byron Scott back into the game. Yes, you would like to have Dale Davis out there for what he can do on defense, but he's not going to be a real factor on the offensive end. When you're down, you have to get your best offensive players in there. That's the reason for that move.
Hawks 75% during the regular season, 78% during the playoffs, but in the 40s tonight. Those 2 count. We're inside of 3 minutes. Hawks by 6. If there is a game 6, it'll be Thursday night at Market Square Arena in Indianapolis. Miller's 3 won't go. McKee, the offensive rebound. Miller gives it up to McKee. That'll be a goaltending by Danny Manning.
Well, not a smart play by Danny Manning that time. I think this shot was probably going to come up just a little bit short. Derek McKee has worked around the basket very well in this game. Give him 2 on that play.
Blaylock on Workman. The lead is 4 inside of 2.5. Ogden on Miller. Ogden to the hole. Doesn't get the roll, but we do have a foul. And now, if it comes down to a free throw shooting contest, you don't want to put your money on Atlanta tonight. Foul's on Miller. Both teams now in the penalty. Ogden 76% during the year, 0 for 2 tonight.
Free throw shooting, so much of it is concentration. You think back to the 2 free throws that Danny Manning missed. A little different situation in the game as the Hawks had a little bit larger lead, so the concentration level was not there. He stepped up the next time in a 4-point game. He knocked down both.
Well, the lead is 5. You see the time left, 2:20. McKee with Lang on him. Lost the handle, regains it, 8 to shoot. Good defense, Atlanta. Lang takes it away.
How big has he been in this game? Really on both ends of the floor, but particularly on defense. Not letting Rick Smith get to the low post.
Lang has played big in this series, even though they're down 3-1. Lang backing his way in. 1 to shoot. They won't get it off. Oh, that is a dagger, and Lenny Wilkins just throws his hands up in the air. And Indiana is going to use one of their timeouts. So Indiana now with 2 timeouts left. Atlanta with 2. And we have 1:39 left. Hawks by 5.
Andrew Lang has been the answer for the Hawks on the defensive end of the floor. It started with his job on Rick Smith. Here he is with the double team and the steal on the pass by McKee. And this starts the Hawks on the other end. The problem now is he handles it too far away from the basket, gets stuck with it against the double team, and then he turns it over. So neither team able to take advantage of it.
Well, Lenny Wilkins has 1 minute and 39 seconds to find out if his team will stay alive in these playoffs. Indiana has shot 30% in every quarter, and this is a team that was #1 in field goal percentage in the NBA during the regular season.
Well, the Hawks had to extend their defense in this ballgame. They had to go out and play the people out on the floor. They have done that to this point.
One thing Larry Brown said was get good shots.
Watch Reggie Miller off the screen. The switch worked for him on that side of the floor.
Now he tries to swing out. There he is. He
good job.
covers up.
Now Byron Scott is the other guy you need to watch out for.
Miller swings around the other side. Scott has to force the jumper. Lang tries to keep it alive. He does into the hands of Ogden. Now let's see if the Hawks can show patience. They lead by 5.
And you need to just make sure you get a shot at the basket. 20 24-second violation here could really hurt.
Blaylock, nice dish inside to Stacey Ogman. Mookie Blaylock having a spectacular game tonight. Already a triple-double. 12 assists for Blaylock. That one gives the Hawks a 7-point advantage.
Consistent game.
Workman with the three. Last touch by the Pacers with 56 left. Mookie Blaylock, second triple-double in the series, and if the Hawks hold on to win, both of them would have come in victories. Blaylock dribbling through the crowd, whistle, and a foul, and it may be a moot point, but it's never over in this league.
No, it's not. I think the Hawks' composure down the stretch here in this game is the real key, and Mookie Blaylock's play, but they haven't made as many mistakes down the stretch. They have, for the most part, taken good care of the basketball, and Larry Brown probably already thinking about Thursday night in Indianapolis.
Blaylock 0 for 3 from the stripe tonight as the Hawks' free throw shooting woes continue. They are 10 of 22. My goodness.
You could do that, couldn't you?
I think I might be able to. It's the second. 8-point lead. Hawks showing a little pressure, just trying to disrupt the Indiana offense.
And to force them to use a little time. Good job, Stacey Ogman.
Miller, that'll be a loose ball foul after Miller's miss on the three by Haywood Workman. That is 5 on Workman. 45 seconds left. We'll go down the other end and shoot the free throws with Craig Elo.
As I look at the Hawk backcourt, and primarily Craig Elo and Stacey Ogman on defense, looking contact over there, hadn't played many minutes in this ball game. I would think Elo and Ogman thinking right now, if they give up a three-point basket to Reggie Miller, they better not come to the locker room. They are all over them right now.
20 points for Craig Elo on the reserve roll. And the lead is up to 10. That is the biggest lead of the game. McKee blocked by Danny Manning. Manning then finds Blaylock, who's going to hold it, and up, gives it up to Elo. The reverse layup, that may be the nail in the coffin. The lead is 12 inside of 30 seconds. There will be a game 6. That'll be Market Square Thursday night. And we will have it for you. Scott blocked from behind. Blaylock comes up with the ball, dishes to Elo, has it slapped away by Scott, and that'll do it. So the Atlanta Hawks trying to become the 15 to rebound from a 3-1 deficit. They win tonight's game. The final score, 88-76. Coming up next, we'll have the Phoenix Suns and the Houston Rockets with that game tied up at 2 games apiece. For Jack Gibbons, I'm Ron Thulin. Thanks for watching. Good night, everybody.